Today we are making a video on Manjaro Linux, which is 22.1.1. I already made a video of 22.1. This is a point release to fix some of the bugs, all these things. So here it is. So here is the boot menu of 22.1.1. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot, and I'm running it as a virtualization with VMware with 4 GB of RAM, 80 GB of hard disk, and 2 processors in it. So again, it's going to take like a maximum of 1 minute or 30 to 40 seconds of minimum to load up the desktop layout. And I forgot to mention that I will be posting 2 videos daily without missing any day. So I already posted a content in the YouTube. If you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video completely. So here is the systemd version 252.10.2, and we should be seeing our desktop layout completely loaded in a few seconds. So this is a point release. I already made the other version, which is a 22.1 in my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, it's available. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out. So this is a point release. Remember that too. And here is our Manjaro logo loading. It should take a few more seconds, and we should be having our desktop layout. It's almost like a 20 to 25 seconds already. Just a few more seconds. And we should be seeing our mouse pointer in any second. As you can see, here is our mouse pointer, which means everything is going good, and the desktop layout should be loaded in a minimum of 10 to 5 seconds or maybe, and it's loaded almost without completing my word. And you should be seeing a mouse pointer with a highlighter because I set it up in my screen recording software, and I don't see that in my in making of video. So here is the version Talos 22.1.1. I already made Talos 22.1, and this is a point release. I already mentioned that. So Manjaro Hello version is a 0.7.0. Let's quickly change the display resolution, and it's a Xfce desktop environment. It's not a KDE Plasma desktop environment. So it automatically changes the display because I'm running it as a VMware or the virtualization. You should change it on your own by going to settings and under display if you installed it, and if you are updating it. I'm running it as a live boot and in a virtualization, so it automatically changes. If you want, you can change it like this. So let's check out the system monitor first, or the task manager. And let's check out how much of resources are consuming. So there is no release note, and we should be assuming on our own that this is just a bug fix update like that, and some of the fix update like errors, all these things which is going to be fixing, I guess. So these are all the processes running right now. CPU is below like a 30% or 35%. CPU is going high and low occasionally, not constantly. And RAM is almost 1.6 GB, which is pretty heavy for the Xfce desktop environment. Usually the Xfce desktop environment should be consuming like a 900 MB to 1.1 GB, but it's almost like a 1.6 GB already. That's pretty odd. I don't know why it's consuming that much of resources. Let's check the version of the task manager first, and it's a 1.5.5. So these are all the processes running. So let's close this thing and open the terminal and get some of the information of the Linux distro. About is a 1.0.4. Let's go to the preference, and let's try to load the preset of black and white so you can properly see the commands and the information. Let's type in the command, which is inxi-sv8, which is the command which will grab the complete distro information. Let's scroll it up and get the information here. Under system host, it's Manjaro Linux. Kernel is a 6.1.26-1, and the latest kernel released is like a 6.3. which was released like 8 to 9 days back, and it's a 64-bit architecture. Compiler GCC version is a 12.2.1, and it's a live boot. So the desktop environment is a 4.18.1, which is a Xfce. GTK version is a 3.24.36, and it's based on Arch Linux, and the distro is a Manjaro Linux, and LightDM version is a 1.32.0, and XFWM version is a 4.18.0. and under machine it says as a VMware because I'm running it as a virtualization VMware. So the RAM consumption is almost a 1.6 GB of a 4 GB of RAM, which I already mentioned. I'm using a 4 GB of RAM for the VMware and 80 GB of hard disk with the two processors. So this is my CPU. If you want to get the information of the CPU, here is the complete information. So under graphics, display is a X11, server Xarch 21.1.8 is the version, XFWM version is a 4.18.0. So these are all the display resolutions available or the monitor resolutions available for the Manjaro Linux. And audio ELSA version is here. Jack version is a 1.9.22, Pipewire version is a 0.3.70, Pulse audio version is a 16.1, and I'm using a 80 GB of hard disk for the VMware, so it's here. So let's scroll it down and find other information like a process running R289, uptime is a 4 minute, wakeups is 21, init systemd version is 252, and compiler GCC version already said. Clang version is a 15.0.7, shell bash version is a 5.1.16, and the INXI version is a 3.3.26. Let's type in the command which will give the same information as the above but in a short form. So let's type in the commands, which is INXI, and another one is INXI-small b, and another one is INXI-capital G. These are all the commands which will give the same information as the above but in a short form. That's the difference there. So let's type in other command, which is a cat etc:/issue, and the login user is the Manjaro, password is a Manjaro, and it's a Manjaro Linux live ISO file. So let's type in the neofetch if it's pre-installed. Neofetch is not available or not installed. Let's type in hstop. Hstop is try to ignore the background noise. So here is the memory, almost 1.2.2 GB of 4 GB of RAM. So these are all the tasks are 79. So this is the complete information. We got the complete distro information. So let's go to the internet, Firefox web browser, and let me show you how to go to their official website and download the Manjaro Linux 22.1.1. So let's type in here is the home page. Already have the URL. So this is the URL to type in, or the website manjaro.org, which will directly take you to their website, or you can type in the search term as the Manjaro Linux. So let's scroll it down, or you will get some of the information here. If you want to read it, you can read it, or just go to the download and choose your architecture here. I'm choosing a 64-bit architecture, and here are the desktop environment. Here is the community versions. So I'm choosing the Xfce. So these are all the desktop environments available. So let's click on, if you want to go to the torrent links or the normal download images, you can choose the options here, signature and checksum, to verify your ISO file, and the minimal and the full ISO files are available here. So let me download the Xfce desktop environment, and you will be seeing a 22.1, not the 22.1.1. So always check that before downloading. So in order to download the latest version, you need to go to the SourceForge website, because sometimes SourceForge has the latest version. So let's try it. Manjaro Linux SourceForge. I forgot to type in the source forge. So let's click on the Manjaro Linux and let's go to the files. There's also OSDN if you want to go to that. So Xfce 3 hours ago. So here is the version 22.1.1. So you can choose minimal or whatever you want, or you can choose the other desktop environments, I guess. Even the KDE, Gnome, whatever you choose. A lot of people downloaded the Xfce. Just go to the Xfce or whatever the version you want, or the desktop environment, not the version, and choose the ISO file, or just change the sort it like the latest version and the high size. So if you want the Linux kernel 6.1, go with the 61. If you want the others, you can go to 5.10 like this. I'm choosing the 6.1 kernel. Click on the download. It should take like a 5 seconds to generate the link, and the download will start in a 5 seconds. So here is the latest version of a Manjaro Linux 22.1.1. Always verify while you're downloading. Don't download as the previous thing like that, which I already made like before downloading like that. So always verify your downloadings. So that's the official website and the downloading process. I think I showed the version of the Firefox, I guess. So here is the latest version of a Firefox. So that was the downloading process. And let me quickly show you the installation process too. I'm just going to run through very fast because you already know how to install this. So it says Manjaro Linux 22.1.1 Talos. Always even verify this too. Check the version and try to install it. You need to choose your language first. I'm choosing American language. There are plenty of languages available. I'm using a VPN, so it says as a Singapore. I'm choosing America, Los Angeles. You don't need to provide the actual location. You can provide any location you want. There are some of the customizations here. You can customize on your own. It's clearly up to you. Click on next. And if you need to choose your keyboard model, it automatically gives you a keyboard model. Choose your keyboard as the preferred language. I'm choosing English on both sides. You can test it here of your keyboard. Click on next, and you need to be careful while choosing this because on the partitions you need to first choose your hard disk if you have multiple hard disk, or the installation destination. And if you choose the erase disk, it's going to delete the current operating system, delete everything which is available in the installation destination or the hard disk or the SSD, whatever you call it. So it's going to delete the current operating system, and it's going to install the Manjaro Linux 22.1.1 in it. So if you choose a manual partitioning, you need to create the partitions before, and you need to choose the partition, and you should be having the dual operating system or dual boot in that. If you choose manual partitioning, if you choose the error disk, it's going to give you the single boot option. If you want to encrypt, you can encrypt your operating system by providing the passwords here. The password should be same in both the boxes. And the bootloader location, the default one is the best. If you want to do that later, you can choose the do not install a bootloader, and you can do that later. Click on next. You need to provide your username and password. You don't need to provide your actual username. You can provide anything you want. If everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark beside the boxes like this. If you do anything wrong, you should be giving like a cross mark or the wrong mark here. I'm choosing login automatically without asking for the password. If you want to use the same password for the administrator, just check this button. If you don't want, you can provide other passwords. For the sake of the video, I'm choosing this thing. And always write down the password and give the strong password. For the sake of the video, I'm choosing the simple 12345 password. You need to provide the strong password and write down the password, because if you forget the password, it should be helpful in the future. So after clicking on next, you should be having an office suite. That's a new option. In the previous thing, there is no office suite, but I think this is the latest thing, I guess. So you choose your office suite here. I'm choosing a LibreOffice. Click on next. Here is the summary of what are the options we choose in the previous installation steps, and this will happen after you click on install. This is the things happen after clicking on install, and the installation process will take up to like a 20 minutes of maximum or a minimum of a 5 to 10 minutes. Completely depends on the system, and the completely Linux depends on the Linux distro. So I can't say exact timing because it completely depends on that. So none of the people can say the exact timing, so it completely depends on every PC different. So that's the installation process. You need to finish and reboot the system, and it should be installed on your installation destination, whatever you choose. Always boot it in a live boot first after you're satisfied, using like a 2 to 3 hours, and you don't find any bugs or errors, go with the installation. Don't just blindly download and go with the installation. That's a tip and a warning from me. So that's the installation process. So let's close the installation process and check out the pre-installed apps which comes with the Manjaro Linux 22.1. Almost everything is same as the 22.1, same in as in the 22.1.1 also. There is nothing changed. So these are all the apps which comes pre-installed. So let's quickly open the some of the just important apps and end the video, because there is nothing more than that. So let's open some of the apps, like all applications. We already saw the Firefox web browser version, so let's open the GIMP, Thunderbird. Let me open even the there is no LibreOffice installed, so we just have document viewer, and I think that's it. I guess there is nothing more than that. I'll show you in the software manager if anything is forgotten. So the GIMP version is this, and Thunderbird version is this one, 102.10. So the document viewer, you can't see the version, you can see in the software manager. So this is the about Xfce. So it's opened because of Thunderbird, so no need to worry about that. So the Pacman version is here. So the installed version will be here. I'm just going to scroll it down very fast. If you want to slow it down, you can slow it down in the YouTube settings, playback speed. Change the playback speed from 1 to 0.25, and you should be having a slow motion video, and you should be getting the all the installed version. So these are all the installed version. So let's go to the updates. Let's find out how much of updates we have here. There's everything is up to date, so no need to worry. So if you want to download the point update, the updates will be up to date. So that's it for the video. Let me open the system monitor and end the video. Task manager. I think this is a new thing, like a toolbox which was already available. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out, like a package manager. Some of the information here by typing the number, like a 1 2 3 4 5 or the letters. It will launch everything. So there is nothing new, just the same things. So no need to check that. RAM is almost a 1.7 GB, just 100 MB is more. So these are all the process. This is the CPU. I think that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you didn't watch the 22.1, you can watch it. I explained everything there. So that's the end of the video. So I already posted a video of another content, because I'll be posting 2 videos daily. That's the sound from the Manjaro Linux. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.